because governments tend to underfund the prison system.
Correct.
And that's also because there's little chance of them ever getting to experience those prisons.
Correct.
Right? There's this famous story about Ratan Tata, if I remember correctly, about these toilets that
Okay.
in one facility,
Uh-huh.
in one of the branches, and I mean I'm just telling you off memory, so the audience can correct me if I'm misquoting certain things, but basically in one of his major branches he went for a visit, and then he met everybody, and then there was one complaint that was coming from the minor staff, the two tiers, no?
Yeah.
The low level and the high level staff. The low level staff were complaining that the toilets are just completely in a bad state, more than like cleaning. It was just bad state, right? And then he went and inspected the toilets. He saw it was bad state. Then he inspected the toilets reserved for the upper tier, and they were in fantastic condition.
Right.
So what he did was, he said, I want to equalize this whole thing. So why don't we have a rotating system where one day those toilets are used by the upper management, another day those toilets are used by the lower management, as it is now. So you alternate, right?
Right.
Within a week, those toilets were fixed.
Right.
Right? They were the bad toilets were fixed, and they had been complaining about this for months and years. So the same thing over here, where the politicians never have to experience these conditions, and therefore there is no incentive for them.
Correct.
Because what happens is they are transferred to the prison hospital, right?
Even if you look at the budget expenditure, it's mainly 95% is recurrent. There's very minimum capital expenditure on these prisons, and also politically it's not a vote block, and you have that perception people like who are in prisons are like the bad people, but actually it's the other way around. A lot of people are waiting to see for the court's day to actually prove that they are innocent. Like not everyone who is detained are the victims, or the murders.
Ones in the remand facilities.
Yeah. So it's basically over congesting, and as a market driven think tank, we have been always in the view that, or proposing a context how the markets work. At the same time, while we say the markets work, there are certain sectors that the government should intervene, or the state should be strong, and there are things that they should do. Definitely this prisons and judiciary system is something that they have to do. So that's an area we recommend that the government takes serious note and invest money, especially on capex and all that, and fix it like Ratan Tata fixed the toilets. Not to engage in these commercial activities, but this is an area actually they have to fix.